Booking a cruise can feel like navigating a sea of never-ending options and hidden charges, but what if you could learn to sail through it like a pro and save hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars? Whether you're a newbie trying to book your first trip or a seasoned cruiser looking to squeeze more value out of every voyage, this guide dives into the science, psychology, and smart strategies of cruise savings. Cruise prices, like flight fares, fluctuate constantly, sometimes dramatically, based on demand, timing, and even cabin type. According to data from Cruise Market Watch, pricing during peak periods, such as school holidays, Christmas, and summer break, can spike between 30% to 60% higher than the exact same itinerary offered in less popular weeks. The good news is that savvy cruisers can save big by sailing during what's called the shoulder season, those slightly off-peak weeks just before or after the rush. Consider a real-world example. A 9-day Eastern Caribbean cruise aboard Celebrity Reflection departing October 9th costs around $1,608 for 2 passengers in an inside cabin, but if you're willing to leave just 19 days earlier on September 20th, the price drops to $1,354. That's a savings of $254 for simply shifting your plans by less than 3 weeks. With that extra cash, you could treat yourself to 2 steakhouse dinners, book a premium shore excursion, or even upgrade your cabin. When browsing cruises, it pays to explore sailing dates a few weeks before and after your ideal window. You might stumble onto a gold mine of unexpected savings. And speaking of cabins, don't fall into the common trap of assuming that inside rooms are always the cheapest. Cruise pricing isn't fixed. It's dynamic and driven entirely by supply and demand. Sometimes balcony cabins are actually cheaper than inside or ocean view options. This happens when those more desirable rooms haven't sold as expected, prompting the cruise line to slash prices to fill them. It may sound counterintuitive, but it happens more often than you'd think. On a June 15th, sailing to Bermuda aboard Celebrity Silhouette, the balcony cabins were priced lower than both the inside and ocean view options. Why? Excess balcony inventory. In short, always check all 4 main cabin types, inside, ocean view, balcony, and suite, before booking. You might end up with a better view and a lower price. Now, let's talk about one of the cruise industry's oldest tricks, inflated discounts. You've probably seen banners screaming up to 93% off or massive savings this week only. But don't let those numbers fool you. These advertised discounts are typically based on inflated brochure prices, which no one ever really pays. This tactic is known in retail as price anchoring, a psychological strategy designed to make a new price seem like a better deal than it is. For instance, a cruise showing an 81% discount might cost more than one showing a 78% discount, simply because the original brochure price was quietly inflated. A perfect case. A sailing with an 81% discount listed its inside cabin at $3,968 per person. Meanwhile, another sailing offering only a 78% discount had the same cabin at $3,551 per person. Even though the percentage discount was smaller, the total savings were better, $834 to be exact. That's why experienced cruisers know to ignore the flashy percentage and focus on the actual price you're paying. The numbers don't lie. Timing also plays a huge role in how much you'll pay, and this brings us to the 90-day rule. About 3 months before a ship sets sail, cruise lines begin to get nervous if cabins remain unsold. That's when last-minute cancellations roll in and unsold rooms become dead weight. To recoup potential losses, cruise lines often drop prices dramatically during this window. It's not uncommon to see prices fall from $100 a night to under $60 or less. In one extreme case, a cruiser booked a balcony cabin for just $33 per night, less than the cost of a hostel bed and with far better ocean views. This sweet spot is easy to monitor using tools like the 90-day ticker on vacations2go.com, which aggregates last-minute deals across dozens of cruise lines. It's a treasure trove for spontaneous travelers. Of course, there's some risk involved. Waiting too long can mean limited cabin choices, less desirable deck placement, or even missing out on your preferred itinerary altogether. But if you're flexible with dates and don't mind making decisions closer to departure, the savings can be substantial. Ultimately, the best way to save on a cruise isn't about gaming the system with coupons or hoping for a lucky upgrade. It's about being strategic, knowing when to book, what to look for, and when to hold out for a better price. Timing, cabin selection, and real, not perceived discounts are the pillars of smart cruise planning. And with a little flexibility, you could find yourself sipping margaritas on a balcony you didn't think you could afford, all thanks to a well-timed booking and a willingness to challenge the conventional wisdom. Cruise pricing isn't as fixed as you might think. In fact, one of the easiest ways to save hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more, is by simply shopping around. The same exact cabin, on the same ship, with the same itinerary can have vastly different prices depending on where you book. A balcony cabin for a December 2024 sailing on Norwegian Joy, for example, was priced $600 cheaper through Vacations, to go, compared to booking directly through the cruise line. That's not a fluke, it's a pattern. Travel agencies like Costco Travel, Priceline, and Cruise.com often negotiate group rates or throw in perks like free gratuities, drink packages, or onboard credits. Even if you're loyal to a particular agency or cruise line, it's worth checking competitor sites. You can often use those competing quotes to request a price match or sweeten the deal with extras. Cruise lines and agents don't want to lose your booking, and a few clicks might save you the cost of an entire shore excursion. Cruising on ships that have all the bells and whistles might sound appealing after all. Who doesn't want to try a robotic bartender, laser tag arena, or a go-kart track at sea? But every one of those flashy features also invites you to spend more. A single go-kart ride can cost $15, a thermal spa pass might set you back $200, and wine tastings can range from $30 to $100 depending on the line. While it's fun to explore these attractions, they add up fast. If you're sailing to enjoy the destinations or are working with a tighter budget, choosing a smaller or older ship can help you avoid those extra temptations. These ships often have a more relaxed pace and a greater focus on the ports themselves, not just the shipboard experience. And here's the secret. Those older ships are usually not worse ships. Cruise lines invest millions to regularly refurbish them. They update dining venues, modernize staterooms, and install new entertainment options, all to meet the expectations of today's travelers. What's more, many older ships actually have larger cabins than newer ones. On Celebrity Cruises, a 10-night sailing on Celebrity Reflection, built in 2012, offered a balcony cabin for $891 per person. Compare that to $1,128 per person for a 7-night cruise on Celebrity Beyond, a newer 2022 vessel with slightly smaller rooms. That's $474 saved, 3 more nights at sea, and a larger stateroom to enjoy. Sometimes newer doesn't mean better, it just means pricier. One of the most powerful cruise savings hacks is deceptively simple. Only pay the minimum deposit until it's due. When you pay off your entire cruise early, you lock in that rate, and cruise lines are far less likely to offer you any compensation if the price drops. But if you've only paid the deposit, you have leverage. Cruise lines are more open to adjusting the fare, offering upgrades, or applying credits because they know you could still cancel and rebook. One cruiser saved over $5,500 on an Antarctica cruise using this very tactic. She paid only the deposit, tracked the prices regularly, and when they dropped months later, she requested a price match. Same cabin, same cruise, a drastically lower bill. That's thousands saved just for holding off on full payment. To take this strategy further, make it a habit to monitor cruise prices regularly after you book. Set a monthly reminder on your calendar to check your sailing, especially during the cruise industry's wave season from January through March, when the best sales tend to roll out. Even a $50 per person drop is worth noting. Cruise lines often honor these price changes or offer onboard credits to match the difference. That could mean your gratuities are covered, or your specialty dining, or your drinks. And the best part, you don't even need to call in every time. Most of the time, you can just check the cruise line site or a third-party aggregator like Cruise Watch or Vacations to go, then make one call if you see a change. Together, these strategies form a blueprint for maximizing value without sacrificing experience. Cruise smarter, not harder, and you'll be surprised just how luxurious your budget vacation can feel.